Look at one of the input files that we're going to be counting. I will like to use the Fox file a lot. So from this directory, if I ls ... that's the parent directory, / is the directory separator, there's an inputs directory, and then inside there is a file called fox.txt. So if I were to cat that file, inputs fox.txt, then I see it's the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So if we were to really look at this text, we can see it's one line of text. And the way it's represented inside the file is that there's this, when we look at it inside in like the REPL, it will show us this \n, which is the new line that's terminating that line. So that's how we know that there's one line of text. That new line says this is the end of the line. Inside there are 9 words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The new line is not a word. That's a meta character that represents a new line. So we can count that there are 9 words. And we could also, if we wanted to take the time, find that there are 45 characters or bytes, really, because you probably don't think of the space as a character, nor do you think of the new line as a character. So really, it would probably be better for us to be calling these bytes. So there's one line, 9 words, and 45 bytes that we're going to be counting out of this. So how do we do that? So I've already showed you that we can do for line in file handle. Well, one of the ways that we could, for instance, count the lines is that we need to create a variable to hold the number of lines that we see. And every time we go through a line, we need to make that variable go up by 1. And the idiom to do that in Python is to say variable plus equal 1. So if we write this code, here I can say number of lines is equal to 0. And rather than printing the line, really I'm not interested in printing the lines at all. I'm just counting the lines. And I'm going to say number of lines plus equal to 1. So whatever number of lines is, so initially it's 0. The first time we go through the first line, we're going to say make it whatever it is greater by 1. So it'll be 0, then it'll be 1. The second time through, it'll be 1. We'll make it greater by 1, so it'll be 2. And at the end, we want to print, so instead of printing the file handle name up there, we're going to print file handle name and then num lines. So this is going to be getting a little closer to what our program will actually do. So if I say run wc on inputs.fox.txt, it shows 1. That's kind of okay. That's along the lines of what we want this program to do. Iterate over each line of the file handle and count the number of lines. Now it also needs to count the number of words and the number of characters. So I'm going to tell you that, for instance, let me start up a REPL here, and if I take the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, and let's say that that's a line of text. That's one of the lines of text, and I'll put the new line on there. I can get the words, sort of, the words of this line by saying line.split. Split will break the text on anything that looks like a white space. So one or more, it doesn't matter. And so although this isn't perfect because dog, you see, still has the period attached, and that's not technically a word, it's close enough for what we're doing, and it gives us the same answers as WC. So that is the way to split a line into words. The other key piece of information you're going to need is that the length of line is 45. That's the number of bytes in the line. So going back to your code, you see here that you have number of lines is equal to 0, and then you're making number of lines go up by 1. You also need to create variables for the number of words and the number of bytes that you see. And you need to make those go up by the length of the line when you split it. So if I say line.split and I ask what the length of that is, that's 9 words. So you need to make your number of words go up by that amount, and you need to make the length of the number of bytes go up by the length of the line. You're going to need to print them out, and so that's the next thing we're going to talk about.